ATI Galeo, and I wanted to address something that many of you pointed out in the tabletop video because I was new to this platform. But yes, indeed, the hooks underneath here open bottles. Awesome.
Yes.
So, obviously we're not filming this at the same moment that we did our range shooting. This rifle has iron sights, no means of attaching a scope that we had, so that meant shooting irons.
And I was excited about shooting irons. It's how I was originally trained on a rifle. So for me it was natural. It was a little difficult at the 100 yards because the iron sight literally cut that target in half, but it kept me on target, it seemed.
So what you're about to see is the AK reliability out of the ATI Galeo with the milled receiver and US barrel. At 100 yards or 50 yards, I don't remember where we shot it on film. You'll see that next, of the ATI Galeo with iron sights. The ATI Galeo, not a Galil, but using Galil parts, looks like a Galil, operates like a Galil. American-made billet receiver. This thing is heavy, but has all the features that you would expect, including the left side thumb activated safety control, which I think is pretty cool. For our full mag, I'm going to shoot the first 15, and then we're going to have Tia shoot the second 15, so that you can see the non-adjustable length of pull and how the recoil works with the person and all that, and also watch the action to see how smooth or not smooth the gun operates. Here we go. So for accuracy with the Galeo, since we don't have a way to put a scope on it, we're going to use the iron sights as intended. Fortunately, Tia and I are both classically trained in the use of iron sights, and we're going to be aiming at that green circle at 100 yards. We're each going to put 5 shots on target for 10 shot total per group, and we're going to run through the following loads. We've got 53 grain, 55 grain, 62 grain Hornady Black, 69 grain Federal Premium, and some Israeli-made 77 grain open tip match, which in theory the Israeli concept rifle should like best. At 100 yards using iron sights with the Israeli 77 grain. This was Tia's group. Notice just side to side air. And that's mine mixed in the Optics Planet with a flyer up here. Still not too shabby for iron sights, 100 yards. And here's the Federal Gold Medal match. This time our group stayed together. We're still hitting a little high and a little right. I do worry that as we go lighter with projectile, that's going to be exacerbated, but This is pretty good. We got 2 flyers, let's say maybe 3 out of 10 between 2 shooters, and still fitting within about 2 inches for 10 shots. Well, 7 of the 10 shots. Pretty impressed with this thing. Let's keep going. Here's the Hornady Black 62 grain. Still not bad. Keep in mind, folks, this is 10 rounds, 5 each from 2 different shooters at 100 yards on iron sights. This ATI Galeo is proving to be quite impressive. So here is our 2-person 10-shot smiley face group at 100 yards with the Norma TAC ammo, and once again, really impressed, and we keep stepping up into lighter and lighter projectiles. And so at 35 grain, less than half the weight of the Israeli ammo we used, this is what we got with the Nosler. Vertical stringing, not very wide, very interesting here. This might have been shooter fatigue. Our eyes getting a little tired of staring at that front sight post on this target at 100 yards. Hard to tell, because having that perfectly vertical line is pretty interesting, but there's no doubt that 35 grain is a very special load and way lighter than what this gun was probably intended for. So, I wonder if you guys had the same impressions we did on accuracy. Tia, what were your thoughts on shooting the Galeo?
I really enjoyed shooting it because it was reminiscent of what I trained with in the military. The difference is the front weight on it, and the reach here was a little difficult for me. Having it on a rest definitely helped. It's super soft to shoot. It's easy to load. I just had a blast shooting it.
Yeah, it was everything we enjoy about the AK, with the mild recoil of 223 on a gun that is way overbuilt as far as strength. Now that does make it heavy. This is something for you gym rats out there. This is the gun you take to a training course, not your AR. But I do have to agree with Tia. The length of pull off of the stock here is a little long. It is for large size folks. It was fine for me, but when it was Tia's turn to get behind the gun, I could see she was really having to reach. But I guess that all goes back into this being a big man's gun. I don't know. The recoil is so soft. It's good for anybody, but it is heavy and it does have quite a length of pull. I dig the unique styling.
I do too. It took me a minute to get used to this
charging handle.
Yeah, the charging handle being shaped the way it is. I could only assume that it's for a leftover charge on the rifle. But once I got used to that, it wasn't so bad and was more enjoyable.
Yeah, that is one thing that is definitely different for AKs. Both Tia and I were trained in the Russian style of charging the AK, which is with your right hand. Reach up. That way your muzzle stays on target and you're not doing all this shifting weird stuff. You just rack and you're ready to go again. The tactical over-the-top stuff that is really popular here in the US, not sure where that came from, but for this guy with this vertical charging handle that you saw in the tabletop, over the top is probably the best. If you had a gloved hand, you could just rack like that, doing a chop across the top. Fortunately, it wasn't necessary for what we were doing. We knew the gun would run. We just wanted to see the accuracy.
Yes.
That's the ATI Galeo. Thanks for watching.